Thanks for tuning in again, everybody. We're back with your favorite podcast, Lucas, Tigers, and Bronze. Oh my.
Welcome back, Luca Nation. Today we're a little bit switching gears. Cage is wearing the hat, and I'm not. So.
Hey man, get rid of baseball. Get rid of a baseball. Little baseball, Yankees hat on. Little Yankees hat.
Little Yankees Twins action. The Yankees own the Twins, Cage. I think the Yankees have beat the Twins like the last 18 times they've met in the postseason.
Yeah, that's who you hope to see in the postseason if you're a Yankee fan. You just hope it's Minnesota. That's a walk. That's a walk series. So it's good.
An awesome episode for you guys today. It's going to be short, sweet, to the point because it's, in my opinion, this is the most fun football weekend of the year. And you couldn't have picked for two better matchups. You know, you got the young guns, Josh Allen, Mahomes got cleared. And then you got the two GOATs, Brady, Rodgers. So you want to jump on here and have a fun prediction, or should we just keep rocking with the episode?
Yeah, man. I mean, there was a hot hand bettor out there in Las Vegas who won $500,000 last night, or $540,000 last night, betting on Dustin Poirier to beat Conor McGregor, and he did. And he took that money and rolled it right into Bucks plus 3.5 today. So a little hot hand bettor now. Does that mean he thinks the Bucks are going to win, or does he think the 3.5 points is enough of a cushion where, you know, Brady's not going to get blown out? And if Rodgers does beat him, it's going to be one of these, you know, field goal at the end to win, you know, last team with the ball, you know, scores at the end. And, you know, if the Bucks lose, they lose by 3 and the guy still wins, who knows? But I don't know, man. I mean, I liked the chemistry that, you know, that Brady was building up with his receivers, but he loses Brown today. And, you know, that's obviously, it's going to hurt. You know, normally you'd say a quarterback going into Green Bay, you don't want a Tampa Bay quarterback, you know, a warm weather quarterback going into Green Bay. You know, the kickoff's going to be like, you know, 30 degrees with some wind and whatnot. But I mean, Brady played in New England his whole career. You know, I'll never forget, you know, the tuck rule, the snow games. I'll never forget any of those, you know, those games because I'm a Raiders fan. So, and yet I find myself, for some reason, thinking today that that the Bucs are going to pull it out and Brady's going to win again. Just, I mean, it's just the winners win, man. You know, that's the story. But you can't say Rodgers isn't a winner.
You know, that is a team has to win just as bad, right?
Yeah, I mean, here's the fun part about the game today. I really don't have a horse in the race. You know, like, I'll be rooting for Buffalo in the second game. We'll get to that in a second, just because I hate Kansas City. I'm a Raider fan. You know, it's just the way it is. But in that game, it's cool. Either way. I mean, I don't really own any real Brady stuff. And I'll tell a quick little card story here for the, you know, the Rodgers side. It's just interesting how the timing works on these things, right? Because after, and give him some credit. You want to shout out our Rodgers guy? You want to shout out, you know, who told us Rodgers? Well, the Wharf Sports Cards. Guys, if you're not following the Wharf Sports Cards, go give him a follow. Great content, great Instagram stuff. And we had him on, you know, when football season hadn't even started yet. And he said Patrick Mahomes was going to win the MVP. He said Rodgers was going to win the MVP. And he's a huge Mahomes guy. So to say that, you know, that's a, you know, it's a big thing. And basically said, you know, that he's going to come into the season with a chip on his shoulder. His team didn't do him any favors. Instead of drafting a weapon for him, they drafted a, you know, first round quarterback. And that, you know, he's the kind of guy who goes out there with a chip on his shoulder and really, you know, really just owns it. So right after that episode, you know, a week later, a couple days later, I forget exactly when it was, I went out and very inexpensive, $325, I think is what I paid. Bought a Rodgers Topps PSA 10 rookie, and I have it ending. It's on eBay. I have it ending tomorrow night. So it's funny, guys, you know, because you know, we're in this card stuff just like you guys are, and here I am thinking it's an interesting day. Do I want him to win or lose? Obviously, I want him to win, right? Because I want him to win. I don't want him to win the Super Bowl. Whoever gets the card, you know, has a huge card, has a huge winning card. I want him to win because if he wins today, you think the card value goes up a little bit because he's going to be playing in the Super Bowl. But if he loses, this is how eBay has become. If he loses, that the price of that card is fixed. You know, tomorrow when somebody buys it, they're not buying it hoping that he's going to win the Super Bowl, right? They know he's not going to the Super Bowl. So I think there's a decreased chance of it being returned Which, I mean, it's amazing how you have to think about stuff like this, right? Whereas if he wins, good for me. Tomorrow the card is worth probably a little more than it is today because he went in and he's going to Super Bowl and he beats Tom Brady, and that's gonna add some steam to the card, right? But if he loses in the Super Bowl, does the person who bought it say, I'm sending it back. There's a scratch on the case. I mean, so it's funny how, I'll just be rooting for a good game and the whole deal. And I don't even know where I fall on that argument. The owner of the card, I should want him to win, right? And we'll see what happens. So on the other side of the coin, I'm pulling for Josh Allen just because I don't like Patrick Mahomes. I think he's great, obviously, but I think his cards are already too expensive, and I think they're overrated. And I just don't like the Chiefs because I'm a Raider fan. And from a card perspective, these guys are the future. So whoever loses, yeah, I believe the children are our future. Whoever loses in that game is most likely going to be back there next year or the year after or both or the next 3 years. So pay attention. I think Josh Allen's going to lose. I'm rooting for him. I think the Chiefs are the better team, and I think Mahomes is the better quarterback. I think Josh Allen is really good, and he'll be in the MVP conversation basically every year going forward now. It's different than when Lamar Jackson was there. He's just a different type of quarterback. He's a much more sturdy quarterback. He's got a better arm, I think. So I've already told you, my thought is if he loses, give it a week, give it 2 weeks, and maybe that's the time to pick up the Josh Allen stuff after it dips a little bit if he loses.
Who's
if he wins, watch out. What's up?
So you got the Bucks and the Bills. You got the Bucks and the Bills. No, you got the Bucks and Chiefs meeting up, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Bucks and the Chiefs.
Love it.
I think it's going to be Mahomes and Brady. And then we'll talk about who I think wins that after we watch how they play today, because you got to watch the games and see what they do. So
let's talk a little modern NBA. Have you seen a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a dip in some of the modern NBA guys, excluding
some of it. I'm watching NBA right now. I'm watching as we record this, guys. I'm watching. It's about to go to halftime. The Raptors are playing the Pacers right now live, and I only bring that up because while the bench has masks on and the coaches have masks on, I believe today was the first game that the Pacers sold tickets to fans and let the fans into the stadium. Not a lot of fans, but they've been talking about it, how there are actually fans in attendance at the game, which is, I mean, I can't really see any of them because I don't think they're in the lower bowl. I think they still have sealed off the lower portion of it, but in the second layer, there's fans watching the game, obviously distanced, which is, it's a cool little, update on the season and the world. Pull back on cards. Yeah, man. I mean, we've talked about the theory of momentum, right? All the time. And it's tough to get that momentum back when there's a hiccup. And it depends on why the momentum is lost. And I'd love to talk to you because I know this is your topics. This is your thing. So I'll ask you a question and I'll sit and let you talk a little bit because you're the basketball guy. So we talk about momentum and how when somebody loses momentum, it's tough to get it back, right? But I'd like to layer something on here and you let me know what you think. The reason why that momentum goes away is important in whether or not the pricing momentum comes back. And my test case, my two comparisons, you're going to love this because they're your guys. I know you're going to be able to talk about this, is Ja and Trae. Talk to me about how Ja's prices went down a little bit. He lost some momentum because he got injured. But his cards are going back up, I believe, as he's making, he's getting healthy. Whereas Trae's cards, they lost some momentum and some pricing because he has not exactly performed on the court or his team hasn't performed on the court. And what do you think about those card prices? Will they come back the same way Ja's are coming back as he, is coming back healthy? And then what do you think about both of those guys' prices going forward? You think if Ja performs, they continue to go up? You think they're back where they're going to be? What do you think about Trae? You think that it's going to be harder for his prices to come back? So there you go, man. I'm going to mute it.
One of our most popular clips. I'm unmuted. That's funny. One of our most popular clips on Instagram was where I said sell Trae. I'm going to bring you sell Zion today, and I'll explain why. In the caption, I wrote the market cares about winning, and people came into it from different angles. And let's clarify what winning means, right? Because only one team and one player wins a championship. But I don't think that's what the market classifies as winning. I think winning means that you get to the playoffs and you overperform expectations to a degree. So that's the reason that I believe that the Grizzlies and Ja prices are returning and actually going to reach new highs. And if you look at that Grizzlies team, right, and I brought them up while Ja was out, they overperformed expectations. That team, they're on a 5-game winning streak. And what's interesting is Ja came back, right? I think he played in just one game after coming back from the injury, but he's riding that momentum because the people think that the Grizzlies are going to make the playoffs. They were really surprised at how they performed with Ja out, and they expect them to perform even better with him back in. And what's interesting is they haven't played in the last week and a half, and yet Ja's prices are still going up. So if you guys don't know, the Grizzlies are on like a COVID protocol. They don't have enough players to play right now. So I'm looking here, their last 4 games were postponed. And the last time they played was the 18th versus the Suns, and they beat the Suns. Now let's flip it. Trae. People are coming into the season, they're like, this new roster's retooled, the Hawks are going to be, one of the top 8 seeds in the East, maybe one of the top 4 seeds. And I think they've severely underperformed expectations. There have been some injuries, but at the end of the day, I don't think the market really necessarily makes excuses. I think they just adjust. So no, I actually see them moving in opposite directions. And if you saw Cage, Ja's prices are now the exact same for the silver and the base as Zion's. And I talked about that before the season. And if you don't sing your own praises, no one will. I said that Ja is a better investment than Zion. I did. And I'm going to reiterate it again because the market cares about winning, and the Pelicans aren't making it to the playoffs. The Hawks are going to have a really tough shot at the playoffs. The East is stacked this year. And yeah, I think the market cares about winning as much as they care about stats and performance.
So the flip side to that then is you've seen Ja stuff come back because his team looks like they're going to win and because he's obviously a good player. Talk to me about Trae's prices. I mean, we were looking at the PSA 10 silvers, leading into the season in the high threes. I mean, pushing $4,000 for those PSA 10 silvers. Where are they at now? Why do you think they are where they are? And where do you see those going?
I see the Hawks struggling because if you look at the last 3 games that they played the Timberwolves, Pistons, and Timberwolves. Okay, so they're on a 3-game winning streak, and now they're sitting at 8-7, which looks good on the surface. But if you look at Trae's prices were pushing $3,500 on the silver versus PSA 10, and now they're back down to $2,300, $2,200, and they're coming up and they're facing a really, really, really tough stretch. They're going to play the Bucks, Clippers, Nets, Lakers, Mavs, Jazz, Raptors, Mavs, Spurs, Pacers, Knicks, and Celtics. And Celtics again next.
Yeah, they may win 1 game in the next 3 weeks.
That's not an easy schedule. I know Rondo's back. I hope they're going to get some of their weapons back. Maybe they pull up some upsets. But in my opinion, I think the prices are going to fall. I really do. I don't see that much.
Even further, you think Trae's silver is going to fall from the 2,000 change that it's at now?
Yeah, because we all know that he could put up 45 points a game. I think people think that cards are daily fantasy, where they have some similar aspects, but they're not daily fantasy. If I wanted to play daily fantasy, I'd play daily fantasy. I want to invest in a guy that could put up 45, but could also lead his team to the playoffs and upset the Lakers in the first game of the 1 versus 8. That's why we invest in Dame Lillard. We know he's not going to win a championship, but he could put up 45, 50. He's flashy. He's got Trae Young-esque qualities, but he also leads that team and he helps them win. And he makes
it's a great comparison, man, because in the bubble, as Portland was taking that 8 seed and they were about to go and play the Lakers, and people thought they had a chance to to upset the Lakers. That Prism 2012 PSA 10 was like $3,000. It's not that now, so it's a really good comparison.
Giannis is another guy that I'm low on. I talked to you about this the other day. I said, we all come in and we when you enter the NBA, you have like this floor. This is where you're starting off from. And Giannis's bottom was so much lower than anyone else's. He was just a raw product. He couldn't shoot. He couldn't do very much. He was just a hard worker. And I'm really worried about Giannis's upside from here. I really am. Because as much as his jump shot's improved, he's 26 going on 27. He just had a kid. How much better is his jump shot going to get? I don't see.
So did having a kid somehow impact his jump shot? I mean, did it weaken his knees? I mean, what are you trying to say here, Mick?
What am I saying about having a kid?
Yeah.
I think it splits attention. I think you have different responsibilities.
Well, I think Dame is done then, right? Dame just have twins. They want to call him
It's
Dame
a
and
data
Dame
point.
Daddy.
It's a data point. It's not like he's going to be bad or good. I'm just saying, like, he's worked on his game so much. His jumper got a lot better, but it's still sort of broken. And now he has more responsibilities. And he's getting to an age where, like, how much better from 26 to 30 are you going to get?
You know what I
So
love? You're a baller. You're playing basketball. I've seen the video of it, and guys, search. It's not that hard to find. You check some video of Mr. Goldberg, playing hoops. But he comes on here and he says Giannis's jump shot is broken. I love it. I love it.
Did you see his pull up from mid range versus the Lakers? He airballed it.
Giannis's jump shot is broken. When you want to hear him get really excited, watch this. Part of the reason you don't love Zion is not the hype on him and all the stuff I talk about, how he could be great and how he could be fantastic and how he could be one of these generational talents if he stays healthy and he's rim rocking stuff and he's putting up 30 points a game. But one of the reasons that I love the Pelicans' chances is because they just have one of the best backcourts in basketball. Why don't you talk about the backcourt, the Pelicans, for a minute?
Dude, I sent a screenshot of Lonzo's stats to our group chat yesterday. Let me find them. It's disgusting. It was nauseating to see this. It's really not Zion's fault because Zion puts up numbers day in and day out. But at the end of the day, Cage, and you know this, the NBA has become a 3-point shooting league. So like, I'll happily give up Zion layups for 3-point shots, and they're not going to win games with Zion.
Well, that's why they have Bledsoe. I mean, he's fantastic, right? I mean, it's a 1-2 punch, Lonzo and Bledsoe. Your two favorite guys.
This is Lonzo's stat. He's a point guard. He's a point guard. Okay, he plays 32 minutes a game. He shoots 58% from the free throw line. Okay, 29% from three, 38% from the field. And watch this. He's a point guard. He averages 4 assists a game on 2.5 turnovers a game. Putrid. Literally the worst backcourt I've ever seen.
But you have Bledsoe. Bledsoe's great.
Bledsoe could at least defend, and he's kind of tough. And like Bledsoe sucks too. I'm gonna be honest. But what's going to change, Cage? What's going to change?
By the way, everybody knows this. But hey, buddy, what do you think of Lonzo Ball's jump shot? You don't have to do it. People can't see it. What do you think about it? He's supposed to say something. He's just jumping around pretending he's Lonzo Ball. He's going to do the jump shot. Yeah, see that? He throws it up from the side. You see that?
But I'm really disappointed in the Pelicans in the sense that, say what you want, like Zion and Ingram should be able to win them some games, and they're in second to last place in the West. They just lost to the Timberwolves last night without D'Angelo and without Karl Anthony Towns. And
you made a good comparison, by the way, for Zion, because I tell you Zion is a great player. I think he's going to be a generational talent. And who do you say Zion is?
Karl Anthony Towns. He was the number one team out of Kentucky, and now none of us invest in Karl Anthony Towns cards, and he puts up a double-double every single night he plays. And every single night Karl Anthony Towns plays, he's good. No one questions how good Karl Anthony Towns is. But we don't invest in his cards because based on our expectations, what we thought that he would become, he's become less. And the market cares about that. So you guys can keep coming onto the Instagram posts, leaving comments, being like, yo, Trae put up 44 points. Amazing. I am not the market. I'm just one man's opinion. The market clearly agrees with me when Zion prices are 70% of what they just were. Trae prices are 60% of what they just were. That's that. I'm ready to go into my play. I don't want to be.
I thought your play was to tell people to sell Zion.
No, that's not my play. My play's sick. I think you guys want to hear my play because it's a bargain play.
Ooh, people love it. People love bargain plays. Let's hear it.
As much as we love cards, Europeans love stickers. Okay, especially soccer stickers, and that's my play today. And it's I think this sticker is going to gain a little bit more of like that 2012 Prism feel, and it's the 2018 World Cup Panini stickers. Okay, number 209, and it's Kylian Mbappe. Okay, and you could get those stickers. There's a gold version and just a base like rookie version. Those stickers, they're very condition sensitive, so understand that, please. But even in a PSA 9, those stickers will sell for $100+ I'm looking at a PSA 9 Kylian Mbappe sticker. It sold for $100 the other day. A PSA 10 sold for $410. You could get with a gold, you could get 4 of them, a 4-pack lot, 3 base and a gold for $60 raw. You could get here's an auction for just one that ended at $6. It's the sticker. And Panini is getting much better at grading these stickers as well. But I think in the next 3, 4, 5 months, soccer cards and soccer stickers are going to gain a little bit more popularity once we start looking for other places to, and we are doing that now, other places to put our money. You know, we understand that NBA is one market, but it's getting pricey. It's getting really expensive. You know, cards that we could have bought for 20% of the price just a year ago, you know, are out of reach. And now you have the best player, the best young talent in soccer in the card or the sticker that people really, really like in the year that they won the World Cup. I think it's a really good play. It's the Kylian Mbappe 2018 Panini World Cup sticker, and it can be had for just a few bucks.
I'm on mute here. I'm talking. I'm on mute. I like to play. There are different versions of the sticker, right? And it's like I know he has like gold stickers. He got all kinds of stuff. So just to make sure again, which one you're pointing folks at?
The base is $6.
Okay. Oh, easy
and
enough.
if you get a PSA 9 on it, obviously look at the pictures, but a base is $6. If you get a PSA 9 on it, it's $100. And I think you're gonna have plenty of time to grade this. I really do.
I like it. Yeah, because you could sit back and wait. You don't have to rush the grading in. You know, Mbappe's young. I like it. I like it. It gives you some exposure to stickers. It gives you some exposure to soccer, to one of the young up and comers in soccer, and it's nice. And mine would be bargain basement, but I think I'm going to tell you to go out and buy the PSA 10, and it's still kind of bargain. So it's great for our guys out there who don't have the champagne bankroll. You're out there doing your beer bankrolls. This is a good episode for you guys. So we talked all about basketball. We talked about Zion, Ja. We talked about all that stuff. And this is, this is a fun episode. And you come in with a soccer sticker play, which is nice. And I'll throw a little curve also because it is, as you said, the most fun day of football. It's your favorite football because I'm going to do a football play, and I'm also going to, I think, piggyback on your winning matters. That people will buy cards of winners rather than buy cards of stats. And I got a flyer play for you guys. And hey, Andrew, you have any idea how old Ben Roethlisberger is?
Got to be at least 36.
He's 38 years old, right? Is he retiring this year? I don't know.
It's crazy that that's the age of LeBron, and they couldn't look different. LeBron's like entering his peak athletic state. Ben Roethlisberger looks like he's just hanging on.
Well, are
you doing Dwayne Haskins?
I am. And remember in an hour. Well, remember in an hour that Tom Brady, who's 5 years older than LeBron, is going to be playing in the NFC Championship game with potential to go back to the Super Bowl. So obviously there are still people who can do what LeBron does. He's not exactly superhuman. So in any event, here's my play. You're 100% right. I don't know if Ben Roethlisberger is retiring, and I don't know if he's going to hang him up. I think he should.
He has a choice.
He threw more passes this year than everybody but Matt Ryan. Which is nice because you would figure that would mean he'd have a lot of yards, but he didn't. He had one of his lower yards totals on more passes. His passing yards per attempt were less than your favorite Andy Dalton, which is not going to get it done in the NFL. You're just throwing these little dinks and dunks. It's problematic, and it means that your 38-year-old arm is not able to get the ball downfield the way that it used to be. And it's pretty telling, I think, that they went and the Pittsburgh Steelers went out and signed Dwayne Haskins. I mean, this is a guy who's a Heisman Trophy winner, and the Steelers have already seen all they need to see out of Mason Rudolph. He is not the heir apparent. He is a fine backup, and you can plug him in for a game or two or a series or two if you need to. But the jury is still out on a guy who likes to enjoy himself when he's off the field, Mr. Dwayne Haskins. And why I bring this play is this. Twofold. Number one, it's low risk. I saw today, and this is after the news. You could have probably got them cheaper, before this, but I saw today a lot of 2 PSA 10 prisms sell for just over $100. Talking about $50-$60 for a PSA 10 prism rookie of this kid, right? A guy who put up college numbers like you wouldn't even believe. And here's the key. It's what you said. It's not about the stats, right? And I mean, he didn't. Did he win the Heisman? I don't think he didn't win the Heisman, but he was high in the Heisman.
He was in the contention.
He was a finalist, right? Mm-hmm. But he was also. He had he had 50 touchdowns that year, combined rushing and passing. And he went to a crappy situation. He went to a bad situation in Washington. that team is garbage. And it's exactly what you're talking about, winning. The Steelers, I will tell you one thing, they win. If you're a Steelers fan, that team is not going to be out there and putting a crappy product on the field. They run the ball, they play the game the right way, and he's going to be playing for a coach who I think is actually going to believe in his capabilities, which he did not have in Washington. So it is a low-risk flyer on somebody who, if he does get the starting reins, if he does get it to take over, the car here from Dad, and he gets to run the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, now you got a $50, $60 PSA 10, even $70, whatever, under $100, whatever it may be, PSA 10 quarterback of a winning team rookie card. So it's a flyer. This is something you buy now. It's something maybe you buy in a week, too, in the off season. You name it. You might be able to buy them in bulk. It's risky, right? Because I don't know if Ben's going to retire. If I'm Ben, I turn around and I say, look, Brady's doing it for 5 more years after this, and Drew Brees was still doing it, and but the same class as Ben was Eli, who just got out, and Phillip Rivers, who just announced his retirement. So, writing's on the wall there, and I like the play because I don't think Haskins has really got a chance. The world loves the reclamation projects, right? We love to root for that underdog who's been knocked down to get a second chance and go back up. And it's real low risk. I mean, you can buy the raw ones pretty cheap, but why bother if you can get a PSA 10 for not much more than it would cost you to have a Rush PSA grading sub, So yes, that is my play today. It is one where I'm not telling you to go all in on unless you really feel like gambling, but it's one, I'm reading the news on it, and I read a couple of articles about, whether Ben's going to retire and what that would mean. If the chips fall the right way and Ben retires, this is a play you can buy $50, $60, $70 and sell before he even sets foot on the field, as preseason comes, whatever, probably $200. Triple your money. Just because it's a Prism PSA 10 quarterback on a team that's probably going to do some damage.
Love it.
You hate it. You don't love it. You hate
it. 6 months for us, 200 episodes, 4,500 followers. We have groups, and man, you guys are the best. Just a moment, to just show you our appreciation for everything you guys do to keep us going.
Thanks, Luca Nation. Keep those messages coming. I'm adding people to groups feverishly. If we need to start more groups, we'll start more groups. And people have even gotten, by the way, Luca Nation, we love you. People have even gotten like, hey, you put me in a group where there's a lot of younger guys talking about modern cards, and my collection is more high-end cards. You got a group of more high-end? And I'm like, sure, no problem. I'll take care of you. I'll move you into another group. So, yeah, I mean, most of you guys aren't shy, and we happen to love it. So, send us a message. We will respond. We will answer. We'll get you in a group if you're interested. And if you want to, when you send that message, put me in a group. Tell me what kind of collection you have. Tell me what you want to talk about. I'll try to fit you in with like-minded folks. Thanks, Luca Nation. Thanks for 6 months. Thanks. Do we have to thank individually all 4,500 Instagram followers? We do that every episode. Next week when it's 5,000, it's going to take time.
Like yours could probably do it.
Well, we thank each and every one of you guys. Thanks for tuning in again, everybody. We're back with your favorite podcast, Luca's Tigers and Bronze. Oh my.